أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. This session, inshallah, is session number 1. I'm not sure it's going to be 2 or 3 sessions, but we'll make this as a series about how to deal with our children when there are issues, when there are challenges. The topic, I have comment on the topic, but before the comment on the topic, I just wanted to mention, the story of Hajj again. I mentioned it to you before about the approach of people. There is always some goal that it is not clear. There's always some goal which is not clear in me, you, everybody, in our approach, which sometimes clouds our vision of actually exploring the issue. We have an issue at hand, but we have a goal in our head. But unfortunately, we think we have a goal in our head, but there is no goal. Or the goal is not clear. Or it is the wrong goal. So they have 3 issues now. 1, that you do not have a goal. You think you have one, but you don't. There is no goal. Or the goal, you have a goal, but it is clouded. Or you have the wrong goal. And that's where education, going back to the book of Allah, asking people of knowledge, becomes obligation, becomes important. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people of knowledge when you do not know. So I give example of Hajj sometimes in this regard. People go to Hajj and their goal is to do Hajj. Is this a good goal? Who can tell me? What kind of goal is this? Wrong goal, right goal, clouded goal? Not clear yet. Which one is it? You can raise your hand and I'll say who answers. You know how to raise your hand? You go to the choices and try to raise your hand. When you want to go for Hajj or Umrah, your main goal is to perform Hajj and Umrah. Is that a goal, wrong goal, or the goal is not clear? Go ahead, Emma.
I think it's a good goal, but the most important thing is why you're making Hajj and setting your intention. Maybe that would make it a more clear goal.
طيب. Who else? Good. Jazakallah khair. You can raise your hand now. Put your hand down. Who else? If you don't know how to raise your hand, just unmute yourself. Because raising hand gives more order. And I just want all of you to know how to raise your hand. So you can right click your name or something and just find raise hand and raise your hand. Otherwise, I will assume nobody wants to answer. Yeah. Okay. For the sake of time, but please, I agreed with you that we are going to make this interactive session, Interactive does not mean that you only ask me questions at the end. No, I want to ask a question and you'll be able to answer me, inshallah. So please be ready for the next few questions that come in this session, okay? I want all of you to participate, inshallah. Well, it is a goal and it is not a goal. It is an objective. You know the difference between a goal and objective? The goal is the main goal. That means you cannot have more than one. It's one thing only, that you have to have that target. That's my final ultimate goal. See, now I know that goal is going to change in your head when I say that word. The final ultimate goal by doing Hajj is what? Is to please Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? It's to please Allah. To fulfill your duty toward Allah. The objective is to do the rituals. That I want to go over there and I want to do things and come back. I hope it makes more sense now. So when I say I want to perform your Hajj and what is your goal is to go perform Hajj, Sheikh, and come back. No, that's not your goal. That is one objective to achieve your goal. and one of the stations. Then another one is to secure the money that you're going to buy the package with, is to find who's going to go teach you, is to make sure that you are at that time in Mecca and Medina, what kind of accommodations are there. All of these are objectives to make sure of. But because we do not have a clear goal, then we get stuck with the issue of performing the Hajj. So we focus on how thick is the mattress, how good is the food, how comfy is the airline, how short is the transit, and so on and so forth. But if the goal is to please Allah Azza wa Jal, from the minute you leave, everything that happens to you in the balance of your deeds. I'm not saying you become passive, no. But you know that everything happening, you are rewarded for it. And everything you happening, you might be punished for it. If you curse or if you do this or if you do that. So the goal is not clear. And that's why many people, they don't have it. It's not clear in their head. Their main focus is performing the Hajj. Now this will result in another problem. You know what is the other problem? Is what is next problem, between parentheses. What is next? You know what is next. We talked about it. You can go in any book and you know what are the next steps of Hajj. So why are you asking what is next? Who can tell me? Yani, you know Hajj? There was a workshop before you go to Hajj. At the airport, the Sheikh told you about the Hajj. And when you reach over there, Mecca, I told you about the Hajj and the Umrah. And you're still asking what is next. Why is that? I'm going to link Hajj to raising the children in a minute. It will all make sense. So go ahead, Sister Kalsoom.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Walaikum salam.
So what happen if the child challenges, you already prepare for it and be pleased with it?
Yes, but what I'm saying, why people keep asking what is next, even though they know what is next?
Because the goal is not clear.
Yeah, and what else? If the goal is not clear, then what do? You become anxious, right?
Yeah.
And even you ask about the steps that you know. Make sense now?
Yeah.
You know, you are driving. You know that the kids, they know that you are going somewhere, and they keep saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Why they are asking that? Even though they are not, they know that they're not there yet. They know that the car is moving on the freeway. See, now I'm going to connect it now. Because the parents were not clear enough about what's going to happen in the trip. Now we're going to drive our car. It's going to take us 2 hours until we reach there. Look at your watch, and that's how you know the time. So when you see the clock coming at that exact time, then we are there, hopefully, inshallah, if no traffic or anything. What are the possibilities that they will keep asking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Type. What if there are younger children? They do not know the time or anything like that. There has to be some technique or some strategy to keep them busy. Do you think if the kids are on their iPad or their whatever, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, they'll keep asking you, are we there yet? No, because they are busy with something else. So why they ask you, are we there yet, which doesn't make any sense, because they don't have anything else to do. We get frustrated. Why you keep asking me the question that I already told you, right? You become frustrated because you think the one in the back is an adult. But as children, they have nothing else to do. You did not explain to them. You did not engage them in something. You did not make the trip interesting. You did not make the drive meaningful. You, huh? Not them. They act as children, but are you acting as an adult? The reason I'm saying all of this, people go there and they don't have the clear goal. They become anxious. They don't have things well planned. They do not act as an adult. And then they say, what is next? Yakha, I told you, what is next is tawaf. And they look at you as if you are like offending them or something, like I'm not supposed to do that. We're going for tawaf, that's what's next. And then they go to Arafat. Okay, so what are we going to do here today, Sheikh? Are you kidding me? 1 month I've been telling you what we're going to do here. 1 month I've been telling you what we're going to do here in Arafat. 1 whole month. At least 5-6 times. Told you Arafat only for dua. But so they're expecting like something like physical, something exotic, something big. You have to fly or something. I don't know. They don't even know. That's why the anxiety kicks in, because there is no goal. Pleasing Allah, pleasing Allah, pleasing Allah. So what I can do right now to please Allah? I told you in Arafat, there is nothing physical. Even the ibadah, the salah, we gather them together so we have plenty of more time. So now it's clear. So just sit on the corner, read Quran, go outside, make dua, please Allah. It does not come as simple as that. But we make a problem of no problem. So now we'll come back to our topic. We already assumed that we did everything right. Listen to me carefully, huh? That we did everything right. And now, even though we did everything possibly in our ability to raise our children properly in the United States, in America, in the West, whatever it is, we did everything right, Sheikh. But still, things go wrong with our kids. So tell us what to do. Forgive my excitement here. I'm trying to analyze the topic. You know, one time, Sheikh al-Sha'rawi, one of the great sheikhs in Egypt, rahmatullah alayhi, may Allah have mercy on him, they asked him for a lecture. They said, what is the topic of the lecture? They said, Tarbiyatu al-Shabab. Tarbiyatu al-Shabab. How you translate this, Amen?
Shabab, the youth, raising the youth, maybe?
Upbringing, youth upbringing.
Youth upbringing.
Youth upbringing. طيب, well, the word tarbiyah is a big word in Arabic. يعني you can make tarbiyah to anybody. Tarbiyah of the husband to his wife, it does not mean that she's a bad person. Adab, يعني تأديب. Tarbiyah of the employer to the employees, tarbiyah of the father to his children, child rearing, youth upbringing, whatever it is. So tarbiyah. He told him the topic is wrong. The topic is wrong. Why? He told him tarbiyat al-atfal, not tarbiyat al-shabab. Tarbiyat al-atfal. We do tarbiyat of the children, the babies, the young ones. But al-shabab, they're already having tarbiyah. They need direction. Okay? So that's one of our issues here in the West. Kids play because we are busy. Put them in electronics, put them on the TV. There is no much, rules. Yeah. There is not much rules, and we don't have a vision for it. Like, from 0 to 7 years old, what is my plan? And I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable today, so forgive me. How many of us here did that? I know there are many of you who did that, but I'm not asking you the question to answer me. I'm asking you the question to answer yourself. So how many of you invested so much in the first 7 years to instruct their children and make them like balanced children who have spirituality in their life, who know what salah is, who know Allah, at least the vague ideas, who know what charity means? 7 years, they can know all of that. That's the age that you teach them how to pray. Teach them how to pray. And then, from 7 years old to 14 years old, that's another stage of life. Then from 14 to 21, that's another stage of life. And then they're on their own. But now we have problems with our 16 or 17 or 18 years old. And what should I do, Sheikh, when the things go wrong? Okay, what are the things go wrong? Make a list. So that's step number 1 for you today. Make a list. As some of you made the list, that they did commit a major sin or did this or that. Make a list. And then they said why this would have happened. What did I do from the time they were born until that moment to avoid that? You'll be surprised when you're evaluating yourself. You'll be surprised. Did we talk about this? Do your children know what major sin is? Did you have a personal talk with them? Did you enlist them in a course or something like that? No. Okay, so why are you surprised? So are you asking today that I did not do my job, but tell me how to salvage the situation? I can answer you, that's fine. It's okay, but we have to admit that though. We have to admit that, because if we don't admit that, It's like we are making our children guilty and we are super good parents, dads and moms. But the children in America and all that, they are bad, they are evil, they are monsters, they are like peer pressure, they are committing zina, they are drinking, they are doing this, Sheikh, and we are the good, nice, super parents, and please tell us how to solve this dilemma. No, I'm sorry, Yani. If this is what you are expecting from this lecture, this is not the good lecture, you know, for you. We have to admit among ourselves today that we fall short for lots and lots of things, because this will help you approaching your children, because you're going to approach them as someone who's part of the issue, right? So you are part of the issue, so become humble, you study right, you go talk to them. They are wrong in executing a problem, but you are wrong in enabling it, in letting it happen. Qadr is qadr from Allah, I understand, but there are many things you did not do, you and me. We have to admit that there is lots of things, Sheikh, we did not do. And then we need to learn. That's why both have to go together. When people telling you what you should do with your children, what you should do with your children, don't be bored of that. That is actually part of the solution. It's not separate, because I heard some of you saying that everybody's talking theoretical, everything like the ideal. Yeah, well, that's the ideal. That is your goal. That's your goal. So what is left is how to achieve that goal. This is your goal, that I want your child has to know this, 1, 2, in ibadah, your children has to do that, your children have to do that, you do that. And then the question is, how can I make them do that? And if they don't do that, that means it is a shared responsibility. They are not doing it, and you did not succeed in finding a way, convincing them or persuading them to do it. Persuasion is important as well. Persuasion is important. The Sahaba used to give these toys to their children to fast. Persuasion. You know, you can give them gifts when they do things. Try. You haven't tried. Yeah, I want them only to wear hijab for the sake of Allah. Fine. Let them wear hijab first, not for the sake of Allah, for whatever reason. And then they develop the sake of Allah. But hijab has to be worn. That's why I always tell people, oh, I want the hijab to come from my heart. La, la, la. I disagree with you. Put hijab on your head, come from your hand to your head, then your heart comes later. If it doesn't come all your life, no problem. But keep the hijab on. All this talk, I don't like it. It is not even Islamic. To say I want to be convinced to be able to wear hijab. It doesn't work like that, my sister. Admit that you are weak. Fine. You know, I understand that. Admit you are weak and you are working on it. I understand that. But don't say I have to be convinced. I'm not going to wear hijab for you. La, wear for me. Wear it for me. If I am the Sheikh and you're wearing hijab for the Sheikh, okay. Husband, wear hijab for the husband, okay. Then later Allah will open your heart. Mashi al-hal. Even if your heart is not open, mashi, wear it. It's better than not wearing it. I'll pray. Oh, I don't want to pray because my mom is telling me to pray. No, pray because your mom is telling you to pray. You see the psychology here? Pray. Start prayer. Start the moves. Start with the moves. Even your brain is not there. Start with the moves. Just do things like that externally. Why people, I don't know why they are, yani, when Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam invite people, he tell them take your time, but it's not saying you have to be taking your time or it has to make sense to you to accept Islam. No, if somebody dying and they say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah ashhadu anna rasulullah, khalas, he's a Muslim. Did he understand everything in Islam to become a Muslim? Yeah, somebody all their life they hated Islam, but before they die, somebody said, say it, you're not losing anything. Like Rasulullah told his uncle, just say it, just a statement of the tongue. So at least I come to Allah and said, Ya Allah, he at least said it. Shuf, you see how far? So if somebody dying and then he said it, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah ashhadu anna rasulullah. Nobody, as long as their soul did not come to here, like Fir'aun, yani, after his soul came here, he said it, doesn't count. If he said it before, it would have been a bigger, completely different story in history. Okay? But if he said, okay, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah ashhadu anna rasulullah, and he died, khalas, now you cannot, he has to be washed as a Muslim, buried as a Muslim, and big dua for him as a Muslim. Do not, yani, this is the issue here. So the issue here, what I'm trying to say is, we think our goals are scrambled with objectives and clouded, and we don't know. So what is your goal from raising your children properly? Is to please Allah, same like Hajj. Okay? So if your child committed a major sin, and you're going to kill yourself or kill him or her or what? What happened already happened. So have the courage and be brave to face it. There is a damage. You deal with it. We're going to point fingers, why you did this, why you did this, and there's a shame, it's blah, blah, blah. What? It does not take us anywhere. It doesn't. When kids come to me in the masjid, many kids, without their parents knowing or anything like that. Many, not few, in the community. Sheikh, I did this, and I committed this, and I did haram. Boys and girls, both. Said, okay, what are you doing now, and what you are willing to do tomorrow? After you leave this door, what are you willing to do? Oh, that means that I'm not discussing with you, is it okay or not? We'll talk about this in a minute. But what are you doing now? Are you still involved to the sin? If the answer is in the sin, if the answer is yes, then we're going to deal in a different way. How to get you out of it. So you are one step behind. If you are regretting it, you stopped it, and you are regretting it, so you are 2 steps from the tawbah now. 1/3, 2/3 of the tawbah. The next one is how to move forward. So I am going to discuss and address the first 2 steps, why you did what you did, what led you to do that. Why I'm saying this for you, not for you to have a confession. No, it is for you not to do it again, to eliminate the circumstances that led you to it. So I'm not asking you to make confession, as little detail as possible. Tell me what led to that, such and such and such. So we try to eliminate this 1, 2, 3, 4, and we write it down in a piece of paper. Ask them to write it down. Okay, now are you continuing this? Oh yes, I'm continuing. Every time I stop it, now I'm gonna coach or a therapist have to talk about how to quit the wrong before jumping in the next step, how to move forward. To move forward and introduce them to lots of good things, yet they have the weakness of the wrongdoing and the circumstances and the other party involved and all this pressure. Even they'll come to the masjid and pray 5 times, yet they will go commit the sin. Because, me as a sheikh or as a father, I'm so excited that they came and told me, okay, now I move to the next step, or I started blaming them and, oh, you brought shame on me. It's not about you. It's not about you as a father only. It's about them now. You did not commit the sin. Your child did. And your child have all the life in front of them. Do you want them to continue that? No. Do you want them to stop it now? Yes. Do you want to know why they did it so you can help them? Absolutely. Okay, we are on the right track. I know the shock, but you have to go over the shock. إنما الصبر عند الصدمة الأولى. يعني when the news comes to you, you have to be contained, يعني, strong. So the children will come and test you. What if I tell you that, Baba, what if I come and tell you I have a boyfriend and we're in a relationship? What if I come and tell you I'm a regular relationship? I said, do you have one? I said, what if? I said, no, don't tell me what if. Just tell me, do you have it now or not, so I can handle it. If you don't have it now, I can tell you what's going to happen, right, at that time. But I don't know. I haven't tried it. It did not happen to you. So I can answer. So tell me now, if it happened, if you are involved in it, then I will talk to you about it. No, I'm not involved. Are you sure you're not? No, Allah, I'm not involved. Okay, khalas, leave that. Now, if you come to me at that, I will absorb the shock and I will deal with you. But I'm not going to tell you the details because it's not there yet. So we don't assume bad before it comes. You see what I'm saying? So what if is a test all the time? Some children ask their parents, what if I come tell you one day I'm homosexual? And what are you going to do? See, they're testing you. I'll disown you, I'll kill you, blah, blah, blah. That's not right. And that response, they were not entertaining the idea. They were just testing you, but it might make them actually entertain the idea. Can you imagine that? But I'm telling you, are you? I'm asking you now, are you? You're safe. Tell me, are you? So can deal with it. No, I'm not. Okay. So I'll deal with you as you're not. If you are, tell me right now, so we can discuss a plan of what's going to happen, how we're going to deal with each other. And I coached many people, by the way, that their children came out like that. They were confused, or they didn't know, or they're actually like that. So you have to deal with it. There is a situation that you have to deal with. You cannot hide. You cannot abandon. You cannot, disown. There's no such thing in Islam that like disowning. But it is under ta'amul, under mu'amalat, under dealing with each other. How far you can go, how you can take care of them or not, how you do this, how you do that. There is a list of things. That's before I tell you, because there is no button that says, when things go wrong, what should I do? Yeah, wake up in the morning and say this dua, your children will be fine. No such a thing. Oh, at Zuhr time when they come, you tell them this word, it's a magic word that will make them say, wow, yeah, Baba, you're right. Mom, you are 100% right. I'm going to be good. There's no such a thing. If this is what is in the head, what's in our head, then we are wasting our time and wasting our life as well. No. One, there is a problem, you admit it. Two, can I eliminate the problem? If can, how, with who, when, and where? Ask all the W's. If yes, I can eliminate the problem. Now, I cannot eliminate the problem. Flowchart, huh? Then I have two options, right? To hide from the problem or to address the problem. Hide from the problem, you don't have to go any further. Just hide and watch what happens. It's not going to be solved. If you choose to address the problem, how, where, when, who, same thing. Okay, address the problem. I have 3-4 options. Addressing the problem by neutralizing it, by detouring around it, by coping with it. You have to know what kind of problem. Is it a problem in behavior? It's a problem in morals. It's a problem in worship. It's a problem in aqidah. I hope you listen to this lecture and write those things down. What I'm telling you now is not rocket science. It is dealing with any issue. Anyone working on corporate will tell you that. It's like a flow chart. Problem exists or it doesn't exist. If you say no problem, means khalas. Okay, stay with no problem and watch what happens. You come crying later and say there is a problem. And that's most of us, by the way. Oh, no problem. My kids are the best. I'm doing everything. I raise my children beautiful. Okay, I did not see how you raise your children. I did not see how good they are. I did not see where you came up with the standard, where you come up with that evaluation. My children are the best children in the world. Where did you come out with that evaluation? Like children said, my parents are the best parents in the world. Where do you get out of that evaluation? Because they do everything you want. That means they're not good parents. They are rejecting everything you want. Also, they're not good parents. And they're not necessarily bad parents either. Standards come with desire and emotions, no good. Evaluations, they come based on your own benefit, no good either. That's why Allah said, good parents are like this, good children are like this. We have to know those first before you address a problem. Then number two, how should I follow those? Where should I get it from? Who should teach me? How can I, all of that. Once you do all of this, problem's still there because now the society is bigger than you, is worse impact. Then we have to deal with the problem. But after we ourselves are good parents, we ourselves aware there is a problem. We ourselves know what kind of problem. We ourselves know what are the resources to deal with the problem. Then we address the issue. Then it's a matter of behavior. Now, you have all the tools. You open your garage, all the tools are there. I want to do carpenting, this is the tool. I want to do plumbing, this is the tool. I want to do that. Then carpenting, then I get the tools. Okay, do I need to saw? Do I need to hit the hammer? Do I need the nails? What kind of nails? And you go to the detail. You put all the things in front of you for the project, and then you go do the project. That's what we do with everything. Except raising our children, the most precious investment in our life, we do not have that structure and that system like we have it in our plumbing at our house, in the carpet in our house, in the cleaning of our house, in cooking, in groceries. We have systems. Maintaining our car, we have a system. Why we don't have a system with raising our children? We're just leaving it like that. Like people have a system everywhere, They come to the masjid, no system. They go to Walmart, you put the mask. You don't put the mask, they give you the mask, or they'll tell you, go get your mask. But you come to the masjid, you do not want to wear the mask. I'm using the masjid because masjid represents our practice of deen. I'm not mentioning masjid because masjid is the building, you know. Wallahi, this is not the case. Why when people come to the gate and we tell them masjid is capacity, they start cursing the guard outside. Haram, you are the house of Allah. The people who close the house of Allah, nobody more transgressing than those close the house of Allah. Ya akhi, you are not in jihad, yani, come on. Even the salah in the masjid is not fard on you. Go pray home. What's your problem? I go to a grocery store and they said, no, you stop here until 5 more people enter. If this happens, you want to shout over there? I challenge, I dare you to go shout over there and tell them, I need milk for my child and I need this and I need that, to cut the line. Masjid represents our life practicing Islam as Muslims. That is what masjid is. If you do something somewhere and don't do it in the masjid, that tells you you're not living your life as a Muslim properly, you're not raising your children properly, you're not doing anything properly as a Muslim. But you are willing to have an authority and follow the rules when that means Islam is not part of your daily practiced life. And that's the issue. So, with that said, I'm going to go over steps. The word in Arabic is called murahiqeen. Murahiq, يعني here they say adolescent, right? Adolescent. Right. This has a definition in Arabic different from the Western definition. It's based on Arabic language. As you know, Arabic is every word in Arabic is a descriptive word, meaning wherever it goes, it is describing the same root. So it is the same root. And when I say akala, alif kaf and lam, akala means eat something. So wherever that root goes, ma'kul means something eaten, but it has the alif and kaf and lam. Akilin, the people who eat, because that's alif and kaf and lam. Akil, the food itself, alif kaf and lam. You get the idea, right? So Arabic is a descriptive word. So the root has a meaning, and wherever it goes, hundreds of different derivatives, same meaning is there. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So murahaqa is adolescence, that stage. What does the word mean in Arabic? Rahaqa, ra, alif, ha, qaf. That is a 4-letter verb, 4-letter past tense verb. Rahaqa. Rahaqa means getting closer to something. The word rahaqa, getting closer to something. So how the Arab use that word? They said rahaqa al-ghulam means he's close to puberty. And a few months before puberty, he's called murahiq. Okay, rahaqa means getting close to something. That's the original meaning of the word. So when I say this person is murahiq, means he's getting close to something. So when I say that person physically and psychologically is murahiq, means he's physically, psychologically close to puberty. The difference between childhood and adulthood. We're talking about it physical in general. Yani. Childhood, adulthood. Childhood did not reach puberty, whether a boy or a girl. The girl did not have her menses period, and the boy did not have the features and things that happen to a male. Yani, so I'm not talking about the social definition, yani, marriage or not marriage. Don't cloud it here now. I'm just talking about the difference between childhood and adulthood. He's considered Islamically as an adult once he or she reached puberty. Like, khalas, they are the difference now between a man and a woman. Yani, if that man has the ability to have children and that woman has the ability to have children. Now, having it or not, they are ready or not, the law, the social, this and that, completely different story now. We're talking about how Allah created, yani. Right? The murahiq means he's getting closer. Okay. Now, psychologically, murahiq, now physically murahiq is he have not reached puberty but very close. Now, psychologically, now that extends more now. Rahaqa يعني getting closer to maturity in the head and in action. It's called مراهق. So if you have somebody who reached puberty at 11 and at 12 they are mature and they are good and they are able to depend on, he's not a مراهق anymore, according to the Arabic word. If a person continues until he's 25 and he's still acting childish, he's still مراهق. So it is not by age. The law did not make it an age, but Sharia understand it as a concept. As a concept. You are a child, physically a child, until you reach puberty. When you are close to that, you are murahiq. Once you reach, you are not murahiq anymore. And I'm using the Arabic word, murahiq, which they call here a teenager. Teenager by teen. Yani 13, 14, 15, 16, until 19. Of 19 and still thinking childish, no, he's an adult now. You can open a bank account and all that. No, in Islam, it doesn't work like this. And we respect the law, by the way. I'm just talking about generally, in Arabic, the Arabic linguistic way. So murahiq is the one who is about to be close to puberty physically. Once they reach puberty, they are not physically murahiq anymore, but they are psychologically and emotionally murahiq until 21 years old, as the fuqaha said, or they become mature earlier, whichever comes first. I have a hand raised, please go ahead. Okay. All right, we continue. So I thought there was a hand raised. So that's the meaning. Now, in Arabic linguistics, they will say أرهق القوم الصلاة يعني أخروها. The people delayed salah, أرهقوها. أرهقه means make somebody exhausted as well. That's another meaning of the word. راهق وأرهق, two different roots. Yeah. Now, listen to this carefully. The Arab linguists said المراهق, and I'm not going to say teenager, okay? And I told you what is المراهق, physically and psychologically, right? The one who's getting close to puberty, that's physical. The one who's getting close to maturity and stability, that is emotionally and psychologically. So if a child gets this one, so physically they're an adult, but emotionally and psychologically and mentally, they're still a child. Adolescent, or a teenager or whatever they call. They're saying here, الرهق عجلة في كذب وعيب. Rahaq is like hastiness in mixed with lying and the defect. There is a defect in manners, lying, of course, and hastiness. And this we find in children. Until they reach maturity, they become responsible. لسان العرب, يعني that's the biggest lexicon of Arabic language. He says, الرهق, this root يعني word, has different meaning. الكذب, lying. الخفة, lightness. الحدة, sharpness. السفة, immaturity. التهمة, being accused and doubted. غشيان المحارم وما لا خير فيه, committing sins and doing silly things that have no cause. والعجلة, hastiness. والهلاك, self-destruction. All of this found in the child who is about to reach puberty or the child who did not reach maturity. I'm diagnosing the issue for you, that you are dealing with someone who's prone to this. The Arabic meaning of the word describing exactly what happened in that stage. So when it is happening, my sisters, you are not, there was nothing else expected and you are finding the opposite. No, actually you are dealing with the default. It is you and me who have the issue now because we don't know how to deal with it. But they are doing what the default is. The child who's not doing that is the exception. The teenager who's not having access to haram is the exception. Or the teenager who have access to haram and not doing it is the exception. So when they do what they are prone to do, even by linguistic terminology, means I was not there to help them stay away. Am I clear? Am I clear until this point? I want some of you to say yes or raise your, do thumbs up or something. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I know I'm very excited today because this issue is even new for me, and I'm reading more and more and more about these things. So that's why it's very, what they call it, eye-opening. It's eye-opening. Yani, when my child goes wrong, that's the default for him. So now I am kind of mad at them. You are this, what, blah, blah, like that. This is what he is expected to be in that stage. And with lots of pressure and bad and haram and everything accessible around, it's even easier. Why are you mad? You should be mad at yourself. You are mad at yourself because you are not able to handle it. Then accuse yourself. But they are doing what is default. They lie, it's default. They do this, it's default. The tarbiyah now, upbringing is my job and is your job. Now, if the children continue doing that, means me and you have an issue with doing our job, but they are doing the default. I'm not saying they are right. I'm saying that no. But they, يعني Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, يعجب ربك من شاب ليس له صبوة. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. يعني your Lord is amazed from a young person who does not have lust and desire. That's not the default. That's why Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that under the shade of Allah is شاب. Listen to this. Listen. نشأ في عبادة الله. نشأ. You know, نشأ means means little babies, young ones. في عبادة الله. طبعا under 7 is not obligated to pray. صح. All right. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying a young person نشأ. كلمة نشأ is the process from zero to being a youth. So when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said why he is in the shade of Allah, he's a youth now. He did not say a youth who is in the ibadah of Allah, did not say that. Because he could be disobedient all his life and he just made tawbah. That's not the one in the shade of Allah. He said, شاب نشأ في عبادة الله, يعني he was raised in the ibadah of Allah. So that ibadah was not done by him. The ibadah was not done by the parents and the siblings and the community around him. So he was raised in that atmosphere, in that environment, in those circumstances. فنشأ فيها, like تخرج في كلية كذا. I graduated not from, no, I graduated at such and such college. That's the Arabic term. You never say I graduated from. See, this is bad to say. Graduated from means you're kicked out. In Arabic, they say تخرجت من means I was kicked out from the college, left it before. But تخرجت فيها, I stayed in it until I was qualified to leave. شوف the difference? من and في. من and في. Men and fee. So we are not saying that that youth finished the ibadah of Allah. لا, he was still in the ibadah as a result of all this from zero until this point. That's why he's in the shade of Allah. So he's in the shade of Allah because the work of the parents, the work of the environment, the work of the masjid, the work of the teachers, the work of. He نشأ فيها. So you are graduated in the College of Science. I graduated in the College of Sharia. I graduated in the College of that. Means I stayed in it until I'm qualified to go and I'm still doing what I learned. So that college was part of your life. It's not an abandoned stage of your life. عشان كده Arabic is very specific. When somebody says تخرجت من كلية, that means you're kicked out, they fired you. No, I got the bachelor degree, then تخرجت فيها. I graduated in it. So you were in there when you graduated. You graduated to do another job. So it was a stage of your life giving you to the next stage. So we as parents, stage when they are young, another stage we are friends, another stage we are coach, another stage we are like someone who's making dua for you. But you are the same parents. Your job starts but never finishes until you die. Your job as a parent never finishes. يعني kids move out and get married and have children and grandchildren even, and you're still alive. Still your job toward your children there. It is different. But every stage is part of a process, never-ending process until you die. But our mind, okay, my child now is a teenager, what should I do until they become in college and their own, ya Sheikh? بعد كده I don't have headache. لا, that is wrong. You're wrong. And when you are trying to fix a 16-year-old with something for something that you did not put the foundation when they were 7, it's a big problem. Now you have to cope with the situation, not fix it. You are coping with a problem that exists. So don't expect that it's going to disappear because you want it to. No. You planted something and the tree is crooked. How are you going to deal with a crooked tree? You're not going to straighten it. You straighten it, you break it. Okay? Uproot it. But this is the case. But you want the tree and you want to eat from its fruit, you're going to deal with it as crooked as it is. Now we tried not to make it more crooked. We're going to put something in there so the tree fixes the way. But the crookedness is going to stay in here. But we fix it from here. Look. Now if you dream to fix it and make it straight like this, I'll break it. So what are we going to do? So I'm telling you a hint now that dealing with the problem, not necessarily you're going to eliminate it. It's going to be fixed. لا. Now, كل ابن آدم خطاء. All of us make mistakes, but the best ones are making tawbah. But the mistake is there. It is part of your history. Even Allah forgive it. It's part of your history. You remember it breaks your heart. It's going to be like that. And don't think it's going to get better. I'm sorry, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you commit a major sin, never think you're going to forget it. Or you're going to feel so good about yourself at what stage of your life. No. That's why we said don't do major sin. Because the level of regret after, it's huge. And the more pious and righteous you are, the worse it becomes feeling. And the more educated you are, the more crying you'll do. But that's okay. That's part of a healthy way to deal with it. It's not depressing. No. You remember your problem and it makes you move forward. It does not depress you, but the feeling is there. Someone said, I lost my parents or I lost a loved one. Say you're going to have agony for the rest of your life. He said, how do you say that? I said, yeah, the agony will be there, but dealing with it is going to get better. Healing, not the agony itself. Now the agony is there. If the circumstances are right, the agony is going to become worse than the time you actually lost them. That's why whenever a person is sad or when a person is suffering from something, they remember their dead parents or dead loved ones. Why remember them? This is a completely different issue about money or about something like that. Because you are in the mood of huzn. You are in the mood of what? Grief now. You are in the mood of sadness. So you always bring the worst. And the worst is losing those loved ones. So you start crying, not on the problem, you're crying on those. All right? That's what Rasulullah said, whenever you have a musibah, remember your musibah by losing me. It makes your musibah lesser. That's some part of the human being. But the problem is there. But you cope with it, you pray and you do this, dealing with it becomes better. And you live with it. You have pain. In the beginning, the pain is so sharp, but then you develop tolerance. Some people, they have pain for the past 10, 15, 20 years. But they tell you, I got used to it already. I'm not going to take any pain medication or anything. I got used to it. Khalas, that's it. But in the beginning, they couldn't do that. What I'm saying is, you have issues with your children, never think that it's going to be solved and disappear. No. Especially if those problems relate to something you did not do when they were younger. And most of us did that. And I'm not excluding myself. All of us. Not most, all of us. There is something that we. So if you have younger children, alhamdulillah, thank Allah Azza wa Jal, pray, say alhamdulillah, they're still young. I'm going to go invest now in more. Read the future. Look at the teenagers, what they do, and you do it yourself. When I deal with my daughters, I said, I am the only elder man in their life now that they can get the love from. Why shouldn't I give them as much love as I can and pamper them and spoil them in a good way? Why? Because if I don't do that and I become the strict dad, telling them wrong, you shouldn't all the time, then you're going to go find that love, the male love, they'll find it from some other male who is haram. Right? So I have to give them that. To pamper them, I have to listen to them, we have to talk, we have to joke. Sometimes they transgress a little bit with me, sometimes I say, yeah, okay. But they feel secure and safe. They find someone telling them, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're gorgeous, you're all of that. Dad telling them that. Brother cannot say that, but dad can say that. So they not needing, they're hearing it from someone that they love. Someone can give them the hug, the warmth. You know, for a child, same thing. Don't put them down all the time. Don't give them responsibility. Habibi, I love you. I love you, my son. He's taller than you. Said, I love you, man. I don't know what I would have done without you. You are a lifesaver. Please go get this. Oh man, you made my day. You know, even if it's a 25-year-old, appreciates that. But if I don't give this thing to my children when they're young, when they're older, they are craving it. Even if you give it to them, they don't want to hear it from you. Ew, disgusting, bad, stay away. You know? Because you didn't do it when they were young. But if they're used to it, it makes them safe and secure. So this is murahaqa. And in Arabic, murahaqa, which is equal to adolescence in English, it means the psychological, mental, and emotional side. This is not attached to age. So المراهقة العاطفية والمراهقة النفسية والمراهقة الاجتماعية, a person can stay teenager forever يعني. مراهق. He's getting closer to it, but he's not there yet. But physical, once they reach puberty. Now, adolescence, if you open the psychology books, they will tell you that getting closer to maturity, physically, mentally, psychologically, and socially. All of those do not happen all together. So somebody can be physically there, mentally there, but emotionally not there, psychologically not there. And they can have all of that, but socially are not there. You'll find people who are very good in everything, but they have zero social skills. Still having a problem. Right. In general, 11 to 14 is one stage of adolescence. They call it the early adolescence, middle 14 to 18, and late 18 to 21. Majority of children I saw in the United States, they are in the last one, 18 to 21. So if 18, 19, 20, they are not mature at all. But even physically, they are not aware of what they should do. Add insult to injury. Hajj one time, I saw a family that they have a boy and a girl who's above 18 years old, but under 20. And he's 18, she's 19, something like that. And together, boy and girl. And parents are highly educated. I swear to Allah, the Almighty, the boy and the girl did not know that they have to take a shower after the period or after the dream, you know, the wet dream. I swear to Allah. There you go. And then parents come and cry and said, what should I do with my son or daughter? Because they have like, you know, this boyfriend or girlfriend, or they did this or they did that. They don't even know that they should have tahara from al-janaba يعني, or from al-hayd, يعني the menses. They don't know. الحج في الحج يعني in Mecca. They don't know. Now tell them ihram, you have to take a shower, and the shower is, why should I take shower before ihram? The sunnah or that, but it's not obligation. Oh, there is obligation shower. Yeah, habibi. Yes, there is obligation shower. Like what? Like this and this. Oh, I never did one. My parents didn't tell me. You go to the masjid? No. Do you pray? No. Of course. بس جايبينهم للحج يعني. They bring them to Hajj, paying like 10,000-12,000 for each. ايه بقى حج ده يعني? What kind of Hajj is that? Okay? And that's true, by the way. I told you I'm going to make you uncomfortable today, so forgive me. Next time, inshallah, it's going to be better. All right. We already established that there is a difference between puberty and getting closer to it, or getting closer to the psychological part. So a person, puberty is the physical act, right? Physical change. But murahaqa or adolescence can be before, until you reach that, that's physical, and can extend to after emotionally and all of that. And it does not happen like this, except in the physical one. They wake up in the morning, they have that thing. But also that there is preparation. Physical changes started happening for a boy and for a girl until the period comes, or until the boy knows that he's now like an adult. So this is also, you know, it does not come. Also, Avoiding problem does not come at once. It's a process. Solving problem does not come at once. It's a process. So establish those now. The difference between puberty and adolescence before it's physical. I hope that's clear. Number two, to avoid a problem that youth having now, the teenagers are having now, they don't pray, they lie, they have boyfriend, girlfriend, they even committed sin, major sin. Those are problems. They vary, from little to high to highest. They vary until some of them leave Islam. Yani, there are tiny things and there are major things and there are ultimate things. But all problems. So those problems, the result is a process. That problem did not happen overnight. Yani, he was a great Muslim one day and he rejects Islam the following day. It doesn't happen like that. Or he was so pure and all of that, and the next day a boy and a girl go and do a haram together. It doesn't happen like that. It's a process. If you look, you'll find that it took a year, it took 6 months, it took a week, but it took time. Now, starting to do wrong is the result also of another process. Yani, the problem itself is a process, doesn't happen overnight. And what led to the problem can be years at work. Yani, it's going on the works for years. Since they reached puberty, when they were 12 or 13, until they committed the sins at 18, there's a process. And you were absent, or you were not doing right, or you were doing wrong, or you were in denial, or you were putting too much pressure. Something that you did. I'm not saying all of it, but something that we did or we didn't. So it's a process. So now, when I try to solve the problem, it's not like a prescription. Go say astaghfirullah 100,000 times. I wish, wallah, 1,000,000 times. I will take off from everything and I say astaghfirullah 1,000,000 times and my child will become good. I wish it is that easy. It's also a process. And that process might not be eliminating the problem. It might be coping with it to the best of our ability. Yani somebody living with a tumor, it can be like that. That is your qadar. Yani. Somebody living with a tumor. It does not grow, but it's not gonna go less, but it's gonna be there. It can be something that people see, it can be something that only feel and suffer from. It's like that. Or you work through elimination. It will take few years until it is eliminated, like addiction. Or it can be eliminated at once. Something as simple. You do a small surgery and it is out and band-aid and everything, but the patient has to be willing. Yani, it is a process. We have growth, we have physical growth, we have social growth, we have emotional growth, and we have mental growth. We have physical growth, internal and external, right? Internal, yani the heart, the lungs, the things inside, the reproductive organs and all of that inside. But external is, the features. I have a beard, a mustache, my hand, my shoulders, my muscles. The women, they are a certain way, so that's external as well. And those, by the way, they make a big difference, because some will have acne, some will have something, and it will affect them. So how you deal with it as well is very important. So if there is something internal, and you have to check with their doctors and everything, and you have to address things, because the children record this in their head. Oh, I have that defect, and you did not handle it right. You did not take me to the doctor. You see my teeth, how they are, and see my eyesight, and be careful, because this can explode in something emotional, can explode in something social, right? So a child have some problem in their back, or their muscle, or this or that, or their eyesight, or their teeth, and then it cannot be fixed later. They said, Baba, Mama, Dad, you are the one who did not do that. So it affects them socially. So they go and digress socially and said, you cannot talk to me. If you did not fix this, you could not talk about this. So how big is the situation now? So sometimes the problem that you see socially or emotionally or morally is because something physical that you did not handle when they were young. So you have to go and apologize, and you have to go and fix. Yeah. Social growth. One of the features for the children that is there, I'm telling you the problems now, and I will finish, inshallah. That they go with their peers blindly. With you, they put their own rules. But with their friends, no rules. Blindly. Whatever they say is like fact. Also, very strong desire, like an avalanche, to prove themselves. I'm not a child anymore. They will do things to draw attention, like hair, do's, clothing, long hair, long beard, whatever it is. Something that will make you say why you're doing this. Attention of people. Big hair like this, attention. Also, will put themselves in discussions that is above their level. That's if they are socially secure. Yeah. They like to do adventures without calculating the results and the risks. Always trying to rebel and break all the chains around, chain of command and all of that, challenging everybody. And likes to be alone and goes away from the house more if they can drive or they have phones. So their phones, they drive away with their phones. Rhetorically speaking, with their phone, they are like driving distances away from you. Can be as far as Japan, or take their car and go away from the house. So these are things, the default. I'm telling you the default of what children would do. This is their default. So when they do this, don't think they are doing wrong. It is wrong, but it's not like I am going to do wrong. No, this is what they tend to do. So me and you are the ones who are making the tree while it is still, the tree is straight, Sheikh. Why you are putting this supporting pig beside it and tying it? It's straight. Yeah, because I don't want it to go wrong. Because if I leave it, I don't know what's going to happen the next spring. And you overlook it, and then after a few months you find like a small crookedness there. How are we going to correct that? You put a support here. No, I'm putting support from the beginning. So emotional growth, that you will find that always somebody adolescent, they are moody. They call them capricious. Like capricious weather, like Texas weather. One day in the morning it is this, and noon at that, and afternoon is that. So you do not predict. One day they are good mood, one day they are not good mood. It is they will not eat, they will not sleep to show their disagreement, and they are extremely sensitive. They love a lot, they hate a lot. They love themselves a lot, and they want to avoid any kind of duties or any kind of challenges because they don't have experience. Why the children telling you like, I'm not going to do that? Why? Because they don't have experience. And they say, it's easy. Look, I'm doing it like that. But how many times did you do it? You try to teach your children how to whistle. And that's a good thing, by the way. You did that. Do it. And they do it 20 times. And then they get frustrated. They said, man, it's easy. How long have you been doing this? Huh? Now you go to all the actions. How long have you been praying? Huh? When you were in their age, were you praying? What did you do? We don't remember that. But, how long have you been praying? So prayer is easy for you because you've been praying for 30 years. Yeah, this kid just started praying 3 years ago or 4 years ago. What are you expecting? What you need to do is to make them love the salah so they continue. You do not tell them, you are not praying, ya haram, you're going to go to the hellfire. Take it easy. So it's important. When I'm talking about our time now, the strategies has to be completely different. They also afraid. They will not show you the fear, but they will be afraid. They have lots of fear, especially being put in position or responsibility or anything like that, because they don't have experience, as I said. Also, they have what they call it, daydreaming. They daydream a lot. So they daydream that, I have importance in the society. My friends like me. I am strong, and I can do whatever I want, and I can make people appreciate me. And I am beautiful. If it's a girl, I'm handsome. If it's a boy, and they go prove it, I'll prove it. They go to Facebook, or they go to social media, Instagram, or something like that. Then they have likes. Said, see, all the girls are behind me. See, all the boys are behind me. See, I know. They need your coaching. They need your mentorship. Yeah, people liking you does not mean you are liked. What do they like you for? Huh? What do they do? Like what do you have that they want or they like you for? And what if you lose it? Then what happens? You need to ask those questions. Get them to the moral side. Also, you will find that they are imagining, well, I'm going to have a career, I'm going to make $1 million and all of that. And I'm going to have like my love, the soulmate is going to take me away from this. She's going to make me the happiest man in the world. She's going to be like from Hollywood and whatever it is. So daydreaming. Now, this daydreaming will create another problem, which is conflict. They daydream and then they go to the street, or they come down from their room and eat with you on the table. That's reality. Reality hits now. So daydreaming that I'm free and I'm strong, and here is the mother saying, go clean the kitchen. Go get me the groceries. You go get that. That's reality now. So conflict is going to come. That's why they want to go to their room more. They want to do their phone more and stuff like that. So they have a conflict between I want to be independent and leave these rules, and I also wanted to have experience and my parents know more and I'm safe and sound here. I don't know what I'm going to do outside, but I need to go outside. So they have that kind of conflict. They have a conflict also between their sexual needs and fulfilling it, and on the other side, the religious and the social and family customs. There is a conflict with all our children. Even non-Muslims, they have their own challenges as well. They will not do it, or they will end up doing it. So it's because they are in the peak of sexuality, peak. And that's why, even if you're not ready to marry your children young, at least talk to them openly. I mean openly, right? And don't be shy. Whatever they ask you, calm down, relax, try to answer it to the best of your ability. If not, let's have a session with the Sheikh or with an elder sister. If you, for example, studied a lot religious, so take those children and answer the questions, the girls, while I or someone also active in the da'wah talk to the boys. Make this program 2 or 3 times a year of 10, 15, kids who just reach puberty. You talk to them openly about everything, like they teach, like this sexual education. We have that in our religion, but not as physical and animalistic as it is outside. Or telling them, since we cannot prevent you, we will tell you how to do it safely. No. We do not have that in our religion. No. You can do it. We know you can do it. But we are trying to work that you do not do it except in marriage. Until then, we have some other tools to give you to work with until you are able to do the right thing in halal way. And some will fall between the cracks, and some will make mistakes, some will do that, but it's part of the bigger community project to save our children and keep them chaste. So they have that struggle as well. They have also struggle in, I wanted to go and start my own family, but I cannot survive in this family. So how I'm like surviving, I cannot survive in this family and I want the rules, and then I want to go start my own family and make my own rules. It's kind of, believe it or not, the children have that struggle, So they want something and the opposite is there. I am not respecting my parents' opinions, but I want to go be a parent and I want my children to respect my opinions. You see? But you have to show it to them in another way, that the only way for you to be independent is to be under someone. It goes all the human experience. You cannot be a master unless you are taught by a master who's going to humiliate you. Sometimes it's going to be wrong, sometimes it's going to be right, sometimes. But overall, you cannot be a master unless you are under a master. Medicine, engineering, you name it. Even soccer, football, basketball, martial arts, swimming, somebody has to show you. So wait until that body shows you the process. Then you don't like them, then go do it your own way, in a better way. If you don't like how your parents deal with you as a child, well, learn how to be a parent and then avoid that and create your own way of dealing with the children within the rules, They have also struggled with what we teach them when they're young. And that's, I'm going to put 100 lines under. What we teach them when they're young and what we practice ourselves. You go teach the kids in weekend school, yeah, Sheikh, please have a class to our children, how to be good and pray and all that, while they see you waking up after Zuhr, or do not pray Fajr, or do not pray at all, or only pray Jum'ah for parents, for fathers. But they conflict. And sometimes we are the ones who originated a problem. Kids in the weekend school, their parents bring them, okay, they're going to become good Muslim and they will learn traditions we learned back in the Middle East or in the Far East. That doesn't work like that, because the way you learned was a cumulative process that you're learning from a society, all like that. Here you are putting them 2 hours in the weekend school. It's not going to happen. Because those who teach them in the weekend school, they're born and raised here as well. So it's actually become worse. Because whatever they learn there and you are not practicing at home, because you do not know what we're teaching them in the weekend school, it's going to make the children worse, not going to make them better. So that's why I'm saying sometimes teaching the kids part-time Islam, it is worse than not teaching them at all. I'm not saying don't teach them. I'm just telling you, without doing it proper, it can have detrimental effects. And easier for kids who are all the way out, we invite them to the masjid and start from the scratch, it's easier than someone who are not, then you come and tell them this is Islam. Why my parents are not doing that in this 2-hour Islam of mine? Even 2 hours, my parents are not doing any of that. Why they want me to memorize 10 surahs while my parents don't know even Qul Allah Ahad? Why they want me to pray while my parents don't pray? Why they don't know why my parents are like that? Well, how? Okay, my father and mother were boyfriend and girlfriend for like 3 years and dated and all of that, and then they married. I don't know what happened between them. Why are you telling me boyfriend and girlfriend is haram? I got that one time. So whenever I say, parents have to come and say, we were wrong, son. I don't want you to be wrong. Unless that is said, no problem solution. Trust me, it's not going to happen. We are not like in the society that people are so strongly attached to Allah and His rules that they will follow it regardless if the whole world is wrong around them. Now we're talking about their parents being wrong. It's not that easy. No. A child came and said, Sheikh, I went, like he told me, to wake my father up for Fajr in the morning. And I went in the top of the things on Sunday, on the second floor in front of the bedroom, and in the bedrooms and his siblings' bedrooms, and I started making adhan. My father said, are you crazy? We need to sleep. Father telling his son who's making adhan al-Fajr, are you crazy? What are you doing? Sunday, I need to sleep, man. Go. That child comes and tells me that. What? What I'm going to do? Teach him for years. What's going to do? So, also, they have a struggle with what they want and how to get there. They don't know how to get there. At the same time, they're rebelling against their parents. Who can tell them how to go there? They are insecure. They get bored very fast. They are stubborn and they want to do the wrong things and rebelling against authority. They always focus on their sexuality a lot, and they want the attention of the other sex. They sleep a lot. They like to laugh and joke and all day long. They laugh loudly. Always self-centered. They busy with their look, their body. They will, especially girls, they will stand a lot in front of the mirror. Also, they get depressed very fast. They give up very fast because they cannot express what is inside of them. So we need sessions to tell them, talk, just express, say anything. Say it anyways, any way you like. So all of these emotional things. Then we have the mental maturity, intelligence. And the girls, they show signs that they are more intelligent than boys linguistically. They can express more, they can use more vocabulary. Boys are more intelligent than girls in the mechanical way, like more physical stuff. Now, perceiving things. When they are children, when you say war, that means blood and people dying and explosions and all of that. But for the teenager, means he's going to lose his family, he's going to lose his country, he's going to lose his society. So those are the concepts we need to work on. The next session, inshallah, I will go another approach on those steps. The teenager remembered very old things as well. Big number. When I was young, remember we did this. You did this to me. You hit me. You did this. You told me this. You insulted me. They remember. Also, they have a fertile imagination and they live into it. they self-explain things according to their desire, and they will challenge you. That's why we need to take them more to the practical, realistic ways. We stop here today. Next time, I'm going to talk about the following points. What are the needs of the children psychologically? Before we get to what we do in the problems, I described to you the development. Now, what do the children? I described to you the development psychologically, emotionally, physically, in a nutshell. And it's very without details. And I told you how we deal with the problem. I told you the goal has to be clear. We have to know the difference between goals and objectives. We have to have the help that we need and all of that. Now, next time we're going to talk about what are our kids need emotionally and psychologically, that they need that, and then how we deal with it. Like how we deal with it, like magnifying the smaller positives all the time. Like you do not give them everything as a lecture. Always give them fast, succinct responses as much as you can. Don't ask too many questions and choose them and choose how to say them. Sometimes you open subjects, talk about general, see their point of interest and focus on it. Always be open with them. Take their mashura sometimes, even though it's not needed. Don't be surprised in the beginning by you asking them for consultation. Mashura means consultation. When they enjoy something, enjoy it with them. Go play a video game with them for some time. Something. Share with them ibadah as well. So you share with them the game, they share with you the prayer, and so on. And if your child is practicing by nature or not practicing by nature, we'll talk about that as well. You have to give them a chance and opportunity to be responsible. So we mentioned the struggle that they have, and you have to eliminate those struggles as much as we can. Then the child will act differently. So basically, what we benefit from today's lecture, identifying the problem and realizing the magnitude of the problem and its size and its type. So I agree that there is a problem. Identify what type of problem. What is the size of the problem? How can I deal with this problem? The problem is not going to be eliminated. This is not the only way to solve a problem. Knowing that will give you a plethora of choices to solve the issues, which we're going to talk about it next time, inshallah. May Allah accept from us what we said and what we heard. قولوا قولي هذا أستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم. If you have any comment or question, I have a few minutes, inshallah. You can send it in the chat for Sister Iman, and she can address the questions if you like, or you can raise your hand and say the question. And I just want to make a comment, like, thank you so much for the sisters who are there all the time and continuing, and welcome to our new sisters. And please, if you want to invite a guest to check it out, no problem. As you see, we have different topics. So anybody who knows that somebody interested in that topic, forward them the lecture, of course, after the recording. Sister Siti posted on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and ask your friends also to subscribe for it. It's not commercial or anything like that. I'm not getting any money out of it, and I don't want to. So just please, forward that and ask your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm trying to build a library that the Muslim society will use, inshallah, in all aspects, in aqidah, in ibadah, in the salah, in the behavior, in the family, in the children. All different things you will find a series there or a book explained or something like that. So please subscribe to it and forward the lecture to your friends. Whoever want to share with us live, they can come to a specific subject. And Sister Iman, I want you to have that in your mind. Sister Kulsum, inshallah, is there as well with the different perspective. Maybe you can help each other. But anyone wants to come for a specific topic, please, don't hesitate to invite them, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. All right, Sister Iman, do I have questions from anyone?
I don't see any right now.
Anybody wants to ask a question directly?
If anybody has a question, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
And also I have a request. You can change the name that appears instead of like numbers, like 999923. Just put a name so at least we know who's with us in the room, you know.
Yes, please, because I also take attendance, and it's very difficult when I don't know the actual name of the person.
Put the name that you like to be called with and identify to Sister Iman. Yeah, and you don't have to identify to me. It doesn't matter. Just put some kind of name so we know who's there. You can change your name, yani, if you click on, I think you right click on the name or do something, and then you can.
If you just click on the name, a regular click, it will show more, and under more it will have rename, and you could rename yourself.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, Jazakumullah khairan, all the sisters, I'm very proud of you. Looking forward to have another lecture in this interesting topic. And I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I'm sorry if this opened any, some memories or something like that. All of us in the same boat. I am there with you. All of us has the same thing, especially those who have teenage children. We went through it all, and inshallah, we're gonna become better. With the next generation, whether they're our children or not. But we are trying to rewrite the history here for the next generation who come after us to have a better understanding and the tools to do things, inshallah. So forgive me if I, did some enticement for any memories or anything like that. Jazakumullah khairan wa alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazakumullah.
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.